What's up, guys? It's Nigel here, and today we're back with another fighting game news for a month, and this time we're talking about February of 2026. To talk about February 2026, there was like a decent amount of news, so this isn't going to be too much of a long thing. Nothing super crazy per se. Like, there was some cool stuff for sure, but nothing like monumental except for like one thing relatively. Just one thing that I could think about it, but yeah. But either way, there's going to be timestamps if you want to skip to a certain section. If I do miss anything, which is a possibility, let me know down in the comment section so other people can know. With that being said, let's begin with the video. The first thing we're going to be talking about here is going to be from Fatal Fury City of the Wolves with the Nightmare Geese trailer that dropped. And it was like just I want to say like a decent trailer. It didn't really show really too much of what he could really do that like would impress people. I feel as if like sure he can cancel after like the slam or whatever into like Repukek, but nothing super crazy. Like I feel as if some of these trailers relatively don't show how crazy characters can get, and I feel as if like this, yeah, it's okay. It's relatively okay. I feel as if in game maybe it's a lot cooler, but just what they showed was like, it's alright, at least in my opinion. But I'm not a person that really uses geese per se, but that's just me. I thought it was just a decent trailer per se. But I think the coolest part that he did do in the trailer for me was him doing Neo Deadly Rave, or not Neo Deadly Rave, just Deadly Rave. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And Rashomon being his ultimate, I mean that's a duh, that's a given. It's been like that for a minute, I feel as if now, or Raging Storm. So yeah, I could see that being his thing. I thought it should be a bit more explosive. That's the thing I will say with Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. A lot of ultimates are not as explosive. I feel as if this should be a bigger impact, and some of them don't really do that. And so I think that's like the biggest problem with ultimates in this game, at least in my opinion. But it was still cool, relative. I'm not saying it wasn't, but yeah. And also with Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, we do have the crossover trailer with Street Fighter 6, which, in my opinion, I think it should have been huger news compared with everybody else. I think it should have been ginormous in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. I feel as if people just don't mess with Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, so that is what it is. So there's a crossover thing with skins for two characters at least. There's one for Rock and one for the one girl that fights like that does Muay Thai. She's like kind of like Zhao. And she has the Jury skin, and Rock has the Luke skin, which don't look bad. And also there comes with a stage, which is, I believe, a Street Fighter 3rd Strike stage, which is, you know the stage where Sean throws the balls at you, the basketballs, and you have to parry them, like the minigame stage? That's what stage it is. So that's pretty cool. And even to get to see Chun-Li's student in the back, too. So I was like, yeah, this is a pretty neat stage. But also, besides that, there's a collab story mode, which I'm pretty sure is just hinting more on, like, CVS 3 happening. There is also some enemies, like the refrigerator from Street Fighter 6 is in there, and some like other people too. And then you can do Drive Impact, Drive Rush. Like there's some crazy cool stuff in this. And then the fact of the matter that you can fight evil Terry, or Kage Terry essentially, and you can do Raging Demon on you. Like this thing is sick. Like I feel as though this should be bigger news, honestly, but since people don't really care about SNK, like King of Fighters or City of the Wolves, I just feel as if it's not appreciative. Like how I feel people feel about King of Fighters and City of the Wolves and just like SNK properties. They're like, oh, CVS, that's it. Like, because high key, I think this might be a hot take, but I don't really think so. I think SNK has the cooler characters relatively especially when it comes to design. I think the designs are way cooler in my opinion. But it just is what it is when it comes to like, sure, Street Fighter's iconic, yeah, but they do a lot more cooler stuff in SNK in my opinion. But I just feel as if they don't get that much love, honestly, like legitimately, unless it's like CVS, everybody's like, huh, you know, essentially. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to Fatal Fury of the Wolves. They did have a animated trailer, which I guess I'll show like a little bit here, but I'd rather you just watch this. It's literally like 6 minutes of like stuff with Nightmare Geese and Rock, so it's really cool. But I don't want to just show the whole thing here, but that is also a thing that they did have. But that's pretty much it when it comes to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Moving on to the next game. The next game we're going to be talking about here is going to be Invincible versus with the Powerplex gameplay trailer. Now, I honestly almost forgot about this character, like genuinely. I'm like, huh, yeah, he should be in the game. Like this is a given. I just completely forgot about him for some reason. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. Like generally speaking, he's not too bad. I'm wondering from his mechanic if he has a mechanic where the more damage he takes, the stronger he gets. That would be cool. Like because they do show Mark slamming him down on the ground and he does like a DP. So I'm wondering if it was like enhanced DP because he was getting beat up. if that is the case, then he's actually really cool. So it's kind of like a, ooh, will they lower his health to make him like more like a glass cannon then? I didn't think about that. I guess there's a few ways they can go about this character. There is like I think a live stream that breaks him down a bit more, and I think a gameplay breakdown. But I haven't watched that per se. I'm just doing like this is the gameplay trailer just to show you here. But he seems pretty cool. His level, well, I don't even know what the levels are, but his second super that they do show kind of reminds me of one of Nova's supers in Marvel's Capcom 3 particularly, like I think it's like the thing where he's like in a sphere. Kind of reminds me of that, except no sphere, essentially. And he's like, oh, that's kind of what the super reminds me of. But yeah, Powerplex looks pretty cool. The stage in the background is really nice. I'm glad they added this stage, and I'm pretty sure this is when I think this is when they were going up against that one guy that was really smart, and he hired Battle Beast. I think it's that part. I can't remember exactly the dude his name was, but I think it's that's this stage, I think. And Mark was getting destroyed, but yeah. So far the game looks pretty good. I'm definitely going to be giving this game just to give it a try, see if I like it. And yeah, that's pretty much all it for Invincible Versus. Moving on to the next game. The next game we're going to be talking about here is going to be the biggest news for this month, which is going to be Dead or Alive news, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, so there's two things we can talk about here, which is going to be Dead or Alive 6 last round, and then the new project. So Dead or Alive 6 is getting a last round edition, which is interesting. So that means they're pretty much done with this game because they skipped like the ultimate version. Like there should be Dead or Alive 6 Ultimate, because there was like that for 5. It was Dead or Alive, then Dead or Alive Ultimate, then last round. So they're pretty much saying, hey, we're done with this game essentially. So pretty much Dead or Alive 6, we don't know the changes really for the gameplay purposes, which I think is the most important thing. They haven't really shown that, but there's gonna be a photo mode for the Gooners. There is going to be all the DLC characters that were like DLC in just the regular 6. They're just gonna be not DLC. Just once you get the thing, boom, you have all of them. That's essentially it so far. They are gonna add other DLC characters. We just don't know who they are. I'm hoping there are some returning characters. Crossover characters, cool, but I'm hoping for returning because I didn't really care about any of the DLC characters. Well, I did not care about any single one of them. Actually, was Rachel DLC? I guess Rachel then if she was. But yeah, that's pretty much it for 6 because we don't really know too much information about it, and I want to know the balance before I get excited because I don't really know anything. Like that's cool. However, the gameplay I didn't really like of 6. Not at all. Now, the new Dead or Alive project, which is just pretty much Dead or Alive 7, that's like everybody knows it, looks pretty cool. There's a bit of an argument going on with it relatively. I'll talk about that in a second, but cool stuff is, for one, we know this is in the future. This is the possibility of characters getting the game are high because I think Yokomo has a high chance of making it in this game because they are using the Ryu from Dead or Alive, not Dead or Alive, what the heck, Ninja Gaiden 4, because you can tell with his outfit and you can see the dragon on the head. It's like, yeah, that's from 4, duh. And which is pretty cool. You see Kasumi in the trailer, and she looks pretty alright. You know, not too bad for design. I actually think it's pretty cool. And yes, all we get to see, we just get to see a city, super version of Tokyo. So I'm like, okay, this has to, dude, Yokomo's gonna be in this game. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. Now the little part where it's like, oh yeah, people are talking about it, getting a little mad, is because Kasumi's booty butt cheeks weren't fully out. Now I understand. I get Dead or Alive sex sells. That was the whole point. Itagaki's vision. I get that. I agree. I understand. But brother, this isn't even that bad compared to Dead or Alive 6. I feel Dead or Alive 6 was super tame, brother. They're showing a little bit here. Let's calm down. We haven't even seen the rest of the characters, bro. You saw just, this is a teaser. So I think people are let's boycott the game. Let's do, dude. Hold up, brother. Hold on. First of all, we haven't even seen gameplay of the game. And second of all, more than likely, there's going to be other outfits and costumes in the game because it's a Dead or Alive game, dude. Come on now. They're going to be to your heart's content of what you want, relatively. You know what I'm saying here? I think for their #1 default outfit, if it's just a tiny bit, a little bit more tame, like an MK outfit or something from MK9 or something like that, I think that's fine. It's perfectly fine. But if you going crazy now and you show this to the public, they're gonna look at you like you're weird, buddy. They're not gonna buy Dead or Alive straight up. If it's just gooned out of control default outfits, no, you're not. People are why am I playing this game? Oh, because of the sex and if you say something like that to somebody, bro, they're gonna look at you crazy. It doesn't matter about gameplay or adding in more right now. because like on on their screen I'm like, what the freak, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think they need to focus on that relatively too much per se. Like, it should be in the back of their heads, of course, but is it the front line? No. I think the gameplay should matter a bit more, at least in my opinion. I'm not saying remove it. Do not do that. That's not what I'm saying at all. So remember that now. Now I'm saying that. But what I am saying is gameplay should matter more. It should matter a bit more. The looks, it needs to be there. Absolutely. Non-negotiable. But the gameplay should matter more. But that's all I really have to say. That's pretty much all we can talk about with Dead or Alive, because 6 last round, we don't know any more information about like actually gameplay stuff. And 7, it's just a teaser. So that's why I'm like, why are we even saying let's boycott the game? We got a crumb. You want to throw it all away now? Like, stop. Okay, I have a little problem with that. Like, legitimately, like, bro, I get you're a fan, but I guess you don't want the game to just exist. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Like, let's calm down. But either way, that's pretty much it. Talking about Dead or Alive. Moving on to the next game. The next game we're going to be talking about here is going to be Rivals of Aether 2 with the swagger of the sea. That's literally like what the title is. Slade. He's like a shark dude in Rivals of Aether 2. He was in another Rivals game. Like, I forget what the other one was called, but it was like, it wasn't a fighting game or a Smash-like game. It was something different. Now, I think he was like a trader or something like that. I can't remember the full details, but he's now playable because it was theorized he could potentially be playable or someone else. But this is pretty cool. Like, genuinely speaking, him being in the game, I'm cool with this. And he kind of plays like Shovel Knight, like how he did at least in Rivals 1. So I am completely fine. I never used Shovel Knight, but how he looks, I might give this character a try, like legitimate. Because I play Lorona, dude, she's a dog. Now this guy, maybe he might be a dog too, so I am looking forward to a little bit of what he can do. So I'm definitely gonna give him a try for sure. He does come out in April, I believe, and yeah, he's just a shark dude. He can do like knock the coins out of you, and he has like a chess mechanic where he can like switch his. I'm not sure what special move like button is gonna be, but something like that. So I'm really curious how he's really gonna work. I didn't really look at deep dives like any of the live streams or anything like that, but I wanted my hands on him just to see what he's like. I just wanted my hands on him just to see what he can really do. So I'll give him a try. Obviously, I'm not sure he'll be my main, of course, because you know that still goes to Force Burn. But maybe he might be a secondary. I don't know, So we're gonna have to find out when it comes to that. But that's pretty much it when it comes to Rivals of Aether 2 with the Slade trailer. Moving on to the next game. The next game we're going to be talking about here is going to be Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls with the Unbreakable X-Men trailer. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was watching this trailer live with my friends in the PlayStation event or whatever, I forget what it's called at the moment, I was excited. And it's like, oh, it's an X-Men thing. All right, cool. And they're like, all right, leader of the X-Men, Storm. My excitement went down immediately. It plummeted because I knew that means Cyclops was not making in the game, bro. Because, like, well, no, because my friends were like, well, no, he can still make it, Like, Cyclops not leader of the X-Men? I feel as if like that's the main thing, at least in like when they show him, he's like the leader. So I'm like, he's not in this game. And straight up, guess what? He wasn't, because we have Wolverine, which is the other character. We already knew Storm, obviously. Wolverine, which is like, yeah, it's cool. It's a given. I'm not really too excited. Like, yeah. If he's not in the game, people will complain. Understandable. Then we have Magic, which I think is cool. She's getting a lot more love, which is interesting. I don't mind that. So it's like, okay, that's cool. And then Danger, which is like, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe you didn't need to make it in the game. Let's be real for real. No one really knows who Danger is. And people are like, oh yeah, Danger, oh yeah. I'm like, what? You've been waiting for this character? Really? That's how I see things. Like, I don't know. Like, it's cool that they have like the little Gorilla Gondrill thing or whatever. But I'm just like, and like, I think they have like a butterfly thing. It's kind of like Gundam Turn. Or is it what? Yes, it's not X, it's just Gundam Turn. So that's cool, but it just ain't doing it really for me. So my feelings for this game have plummeted even more for me to be motivated to play the game, essentially. Maybe there might be some characters I might see eventually that was like, oh yeah, maybe. But right now I'm like, I don't really care. August 9th is when the game comes out and you can pre-order it. So that's pretty cool. It does seem like they did do some changes to the game, because if you see in the gameplay trailer here that stuff's a lot faster, especially for tag. I'm assuming for creativity, for like combos, things are going to get a lot better. So they're going the right route actually for this. That's actually really good. So it's good on them, like legitimately. So the game will live. Also, it seems like the season for like DLC characters, like the season pass, how it's gonna work is gonna be 4 characters in total. So it's probably just gonna be like a person that's like the captain, and the rest is just part of the team. So you could just get a Fantastic Four season more than likely, which is like, I don't really know how to feel about that, but yeah. But either way, that's pretty much it when it comes to Marvel Tokon. Moving on to the next game. The next game we're going to be talking about here is going to be Tekken 8, and I avoided talking about this because I'm going to be honest with you, the Season 3 trailer, I'm not going to lie, this did not motivate me to get back on the game, not really one bit. Like, they're saying they're going back to basics, and we did get some more information about what they're doing, but it's only just a tiny bit, to be honest with you, so it's like, eh. But let's talk about the characters, because that's what matters more. Konimitsu, Season 3, first character for late spring. I don't care about Konimitsu personally. I guess it's like a Tekken 7 thing, relatively. I think they should have chosen someone else. I think she's quite boring, but it is what it is. I'm like, okay, cool. Bob is going to be the next character after that. Bob returning, he deserves to be. I get it. Like 100%. Out of everybody they showed, I think Bob, I get that. Like 100%, I'm not complaining about that. Cool. He should have been base game, if we're being realistic here, but it is what it is. Now, Roger Jr. No. Like, everybody's like, I'm so excited. I love Roger. I mean, that's cool. I feel as if he's gonna be really annoying in the game. Honestly, it's a good thing I'm not gonna play in the game, but I just feel as if out of the characters, Marduk should have been the character for Australia. Genuinely, because I don't think anybody thought it was gonna be Roger Jr. Now, granted, there were pictures of a dude in a mocap suit with a tail, so I guess Roger was gonna make it regardless in the game eventually, but. I don't know, bro. I just don't like these choices. I really just don't. Like, Bob is the only fun one. Konimitsu, whatever. Who cares? Roger. No. And then the 4th character, we don't know. It could be a guest character or something, but I'm not wasting my money on the season like they do. Like, Season 2, okay, they had Armor King. Fukurim's pretty alright. Anna, she's a cool character. I just don't like how she's a bazooka. Yeah. And then Mary's, I don't like her. But this season, just flat out, like, no. Like, legitimately no. And they're also giving the characters, like, you get to use them 120 hours early compared to the 72, I believe. So that's pretty. I'm not sure. That could be a bad thing, honestly, for like people learning, but I don't know. But yeah, Season 3, they did talk about a little bit of the changes, and I think like heat smashes, they don't wall splat anymore. Like, you just fall down, so they can't get like a combo after or something like that. Or I think it's a heat smash. So that's like cool, but that's relatively like big change that we're noticing so far. That's not like the only change, I don't think, but how things are looking, that might be like one of the bigger changes, and that's kind of relatively it. So it's like back to basics, not really. So I don't know, we're gonna have to wait for more information, but still, it just doesn't look too good. But yeah, but that's pretty much it for Tekken 8. Moving on to the next game. The next fighting game we're gonna be talking about here is going to be Avatar Legends, the fighting game with the Toph trailer. Now, Toph looks pretty freaking sick. Like, I think this was a very anticipated character, and I don't think they disappointed, especially how she has like a Argos mechanic where she can put a wall behind you. I think Argos had, I believe. So she's pretty sick. She has some cool boulder spike moves. I like how her little flow state dodge mechanic is like her holding her hands in the back of her head and just dodging. I almost did it. That would have ruined the audio. But I like how she can rise a pillar up too. There's just a lot of cool stuff about her character, relatively. Her with the belt at the end too is sick. Like, I mean, there's just she did really like a lot of stuff in that trailer. I think about it. Besides her ultimate, well, actually, I'll say this: her ultimate's kind of okay, going into metal bending and just like doing a metal punch. That's cool. They could have did a bit more. I'd rather that just been like a level 1 or something, to be honest with you, because it was like, yeah, that's all right. But I think that's like probably the only thing that's like kind of with her trailer relatively, is like just like that's cool, I guess. But I think like the cool part about that ultimate is her like walking, like breaking, not the 4th wall, but just breaking the game, just like climbing up into the side, stuff like that. Like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy. But I get it, because I think she did that on the plane, I believe, like at the end of the series when they were fighting in the plane. But I think I get the reference now. But even still, I think they could have did something a bit cooler for the ultimate, but it's still not bad. Like, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever. It's just like, it could have been a bit cooler. But either way, gameplay looks fine. Would I main her? I don't know. Now, I do know that the beta or alpha came out I forgot to sign up again, unfortunately, and I heard that she's like a tank in the game, supposedly, so that's kind of cool, but yeah. But that's pretty much it when it comes to Avatar, the fighting game. I really do hope they change that name, and yeah, Toph looks pretty cool. I want to see what Azula can do, though. I really do. But yeah, moving on to the next and final game. So the next and final game we're going to be talking about here is going to be Street Fighter 6 with the Alex mocap showcase thing, you know? Like, it's just Kenny Omega doing mocap with Alex. Like, this isn't really like huge news. I just thought it was cool to mention, which is just Kenny Omega mocapping Alex. We knew he was doing mocap for him because they showed a picture of it, I think, on Twitter and the PlayStation blog, I believe. But this is just actually like footage of him doing it, which is pretty cool because he embodies the character pretty well. Now, I do think, just to throw some roses for Kenny here, some flowers, dude is putting in some work, like, legitimately, because this is, like, I want to say it's, like, the third time he's, like, done something with Capcom with Street Fighter, I believe? Or no, fourth. Yeah, fourth. Because he did the Alex thing, not obviously, with the mocap now. He has done Season 3 trailers, like, going with Sea Vipers, got Alex and Ingrid, like, dressing up all of them. He has been Cody in Street Fighter 5, and he actually revealed the DLC characters for like the last season of Street Fighter 5 too. And so I just thought that was cool, like, just to show this off, because I'm like, dude, he's been here for a very, I don't not remember seeing him like in just events and stuff like that. Or just, I'm not saying I go to events, but I mean like just in broadcast relatively. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like he's just like an OG of the fighting game community. Like just like he always liked fighting games, like in just video games in general, because obviously One Wing Angel is one of his wrestling moves. So like I just wanted to throw a little bit of flowers here, of course, because you know, dude, he's been here, and I appreciate that, like the stuff he, like this work he puts in. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for when it comes to fighting game news for this month. What are your guys' thoughts of like the fighting game news that we got, particularly when it comes to Dead or Alive? Actually, do you think they should focus on gameplay more or the sex appeal? I think both matter, but me personally, I think the gameplay is what's going to sell people the most, because sex appeal is cool, but you can get that in Street Fighter technically too, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to be as crazy, but you know. So I just think gameplay should matter a bit more, especially it would help them with sales. Like, they're not, if you sell this in the West, they'll be like, whoa, too much nudity, you can't play that game or whatever, you know? So that's what I think, at least. I'm not saying give it up, don't do that, but just let it be in the game, but don't show it out up front, or they're gonna be like, what the freak? What was this Gooner game, you know? So yeah. But either way, if I didn't miss anything, let me know down below. Comments, your thoughts and everything, and I hope you guys have a great day, a great night, a great noon, or whatever time zone you guys are at, man, and I will see you guys in the next video.